I cannot believe, as of yesterday, it has been 10 years since Bloodborne came out. Are we feeling old yet? Though, my story with Bloodborne doesn't actually go back that far. It actually goes back to March of 2018, when PlayStation Plus was giving out games for free, and I got that game for free. Now, at the time, I didn't know what Bloodborne was. You see, I knew what the FromSoft games were, specifically Dark Souls, and I was very apprehensive of the games at the time, to where I outright kind of avoided them. And what happened is when I got the game, you know, I booted it up and I really loved the aesthetic and I loved how cool it was. So, you know, there's a part of me being like, all right, let's get in. Let's see what's there, what's on offer. And as I started playing the game, specifically I was in Central Yarnum, the opening part of the game, and I even remember too, I remember just getting so frustrated by how just hard it was. And I just kept getting more and more angry and pissed off because I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. And, you know, at the time I was just fresh 18 years old. And I was like, you know what? Let me find out more about this game. So I looked it up and I found out, as I was looking for guides and everything, I found out that this was made by the same people that made the Dark Souls games. And so I quickly shut the game down and that was it. And that was basically kind of it for a bit. There was a period I did try the game again. I think it was like a year or two later. And you know, this time I decided to get some help, but still I just wasn't kind of feeling it. And, you know, there wasn't someone wanting to kind of just, you know, co-op or quote unquote at the time, I guess, hold my hand as I was playing. So eventually I stopped playing again. But then a game came out in February of 2022 called Elden Ring. And my friend at the time, you know, was a big Souls guy. He loved all the Souls games. He never did play Bloodborne, and I was trying to get him to play it, but that's a story for another time. And he was like, you know, gushing over how great Elden Ring was, and he really liked the play tests that they released. And, you know, he kept gushing on me how much he really, really wanted me to play it. I even got him, because at my university they were selling posters. I got him the last Elden Ring poster and sort of, you know, bought it for him. I mean, he reimbursed me for it, but still I bought it for him just as a way, because he was having class. It was the last one. And he was real happy about it. But we ended up game sharing. And so I played through Elden Ring. And I was actually having a fun time. In fact, I was having such a fun time, it frustrated me and pissed me off that the second to last boss at the game, I couldn't beat. So, as I was sitting there thinking, I thought, you know what, why don't I go back to Bloodborne and finish it? So I went back to Bloodborne, and I beat it and platinumed it. And then, because I have a PS5, I found out that the Demon's Souls remake, I could get a copy of that for $25. So I bought that. I didn't platinum it. I actually platinumed it recently, but I bought that and beat that. And then I went back to Elden Ring and basically finished it off. So that's sort of my story in a nutshell with Bloodborne, and how it was technically the first Souls game that I beat. The first one that really introduced me into the franchise, to which I still do play on occasion, sometimes regularly. Like just recently, Dark Souls 3 got seamless co-op, and I was playing that for a bit, did just a playthrough of that, which, I mean, for those who don't know what seamless co-op is, it was famous for being in Elden Ring as being a much more expansive and open way to co-op with people. And it was possible, I haven't seen any footage of this, but it was possible to put 120 people on the map, or in an entire session run. Turn it into like an MMO. Now, I haven't seen any footage of this, but that's what the mod creators said. But anyway, just this year, they're now tackling some of the older Souls games, with Dark Souls 3 being the start or runner-up. But they're also getting ready to do Dark Souls Remastered, and also Sekiro, to add seamless co-op in these games, to basically make them much more seamless, in a sense of, you know, you load in, you don't have to keep, because how Souls games work is you call for help, and they help you until the boss is beaten in that area, and then they basically go back to their world. Well, with seamless co-op, those restrictions are gone. Now they can just keep co-oping with you, and it's such a fun and innovative way to play these games that I just have a lot of fun with it. You know, Elden Ring, I beat it in seamless co-op. Dark Souls 3, I beat it in seamless co-op recently. So I still actively play the game. And right now, to celebrate Bloodborne's 10-year anniversary, It is the Return to Yharnam event, which this does happen every like March 24th, every anniversary of Bloodborne being, since its release. And it's basically everybody just comes back in, plays the game, starts up a new character, and just engages in cooperation and, rings the bell and helps out, as you're seeing in the footage right now. This is footage of me playing throughout this event, helping people. And it's a lot of fun. It really is, because it kind of gives back that old feeling of just, at release date kind of thing. And it's not just Bloodborne this is exclusive to. This is all the other Souls games that they each have their own sort of event corresponding, which you can find on the Reddit for any Souls game. And it's just a fun little thing the community likes to do. And I personally like doing it more for Bloodborne. I've done it for Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1, but really it's Bloodborne that I felt is the most popular, because Demon Souls is kind of dead, unfortunately. At least the remake is. I don't know how it is for the original. I haven't actually engaged in the online on the original just because it's a little finicky now since they shut down the servers. And I don't know. I don't have that much tie or drive, rather, to go and play the original Demon Souls. But anyway, back to Bloodborne. So what makes Bloodborne, I think, stand out to me the most, and I think it's why a lot of people's favorite FromSoft game, including my own, is because it's just the aesthetic. I mean, you can't go wrong with, a Victorian era kind of aesthetic like this. And there's a reason why the community has been clamoring for a remaster or even PC port. And it's, there was the copium coming out that, maybe with the 10-year anniversary, Sony would announce a Bloodborne PC port, because, we've gotten all these other PC ports for Sony games. But Bloodborne is the one game that they won't port. And it's like this, it's this really funny and, sort of sad joke that they will port any other remaster, but Sony, for whatever reason, will not port Bloodborne to PC. And there's been like these constant like theories, rumors, all pretty much fake at this point, that, really begs the question if we're ever going to which, my humble opinion, I don't think we ever are. If anything, the emulator will be as close as what we'll get to a PC sort of release on Bloodborne. It's by a Shad PS4, or Chad PS4, some like to call it, that I know. But, it's how I at least feel, is I don't think we're ever going to get it. I think Sony, for whatever reason, just doesn't want to port it to PC. And I think it's a bummer. It's a shame. But the emulator is almost 1-to-1 ratio to the console port. Obviously, you're going to need a PC that can handle emulating. But it has gotten a lot more optimized compared to when I first tried it. When I first tried it, oh man, was it rough. But now it's smooth. It's, for the most part, stable. It's still got its kinks here and there. But for the most part, it's playable. It's enjoyable, and I definitely am going to be maybe doing a playthrough of that at some point on the emulator. I'm kind of going back and forth. This event is still going on, so who knows? But anyway, that's more or less the experience I have with Bloodborne, and I think why a lot of people like me like it. I mean, it does have a unique playstyle too that I can also throw in. The playstyle of Bloodborne is very unique compared to the other Souls games. It encourages you to be aggressive, because there's a rally system to when you lose health. If you, as you might see in my health bar in the top left screen, if you hit the enemy back, as once you're hit the first time, you can get some of that health back. And even if you're quick enough, get that health back completely. So it's sort of encouraging you to be aggressive. And it's the only Souls game that kind of does that. I know Sekiro has the deflect mechanic, but, that's a different game entirely, and how it does it. But at least for this game, it works, because all the enemies and how everything's balanced is to that playstyle. And I really like it, honestly. The only thing that sucks about Bloodborne is that it's stuck at 30 FPS on console, and really it's not that hard to create a 60 FPS patch for the game. The PS5 can easily handle it. A jailbroken PS5 has proven that it can handle it. So, again, I don't know what Sony's doing at this point. Nobody really does. It's weird. So, but anyway, that's all I have to really say for this video. I just wanted to, celebrate Bloodborne's 10-year anniversary and just talk about that. It's been around for 10 years. I haven't been around with it that long, but, I consider it to be one of my top games. I really like a lot that this game has to offer, and honestly, this game has the best reveal of the Moonlight Sword. I'm not going to tell you at all or spoil that if you don't know. You'll just need to play for it yourself, because this is the one game, if you have a PlayStation 4 or 5, you need to buy this game and its DLC. I don't care. There's no excuse. Buy this game and its DLC. Play it. If you need help, there's people there to help you. Nobody has a problem with, helping you co-op. And don't listen to what anybody says. Oh, if you co-op or use summons, you're not actually playing the game. I mean, if Miyazaki himself has come out and said that in Elden Ring he uses the Mimic because the game is hard, you should be fine using summons in Bloodborne. So don't be scared. It's not that hard of a game once you get a feel for it, and you just gotta be patient with it. And there's people that will help you through it. So just give it a shot if you can. It's definitely a must-play on PlayStation. So, as always, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. We are on the road to 150 subscribers. As of recording this video, we are at 134 subscribers. So we only need 16 more to hit that 150 goal by the end of the month. And I have no doubt that we'll reach it. I mean, we've been really just picking up these subscribers. I mean, my last video, I was able to get quite a couple amount. So, just really grateful for everybody subscribing and following along. I know my channel isn't really becoming the most, I started off with Call of Duty gameplay, and now I'm pivoting to other games and using footage, which I definitely will be going back to using Call of Duty. I promise the next video that I release will go back to using old Call of Duty footage. I've just been sort of experimenting, so to speak, because my biggest concern right now is just, as always, trying to stick out of the mold. Keeping my channel unique compared to the other ones, because there is a trend going on with, use commentary on old Call of Duty footage. So I'm trying to, stand out of the mold a bit, so to speak. So anyway, I'll see you guys Thursday.